Alright, so in today's video, we'll be taking a look at the top 10 units in AnimeLastStand right now. Now, I will not be counting the limited units, like, as an example, Boback. I'm pretty sure you can't get him right now. I'm not really sure what the point of this update was to do this to a limited unit. I don't know if there's some way to get this guy right now. I actually have no idea, so maybe he's not limited. I don't know, but I think he is. But yeah, limited units like Vice Captain, Division Captain, you know, these units, we're not going to be counting those. Law, you know, those units, because I want it to be something you can just go ahead and grind for the top 10. I don't want you to have to like go ahead and trade for these units here that I'm gonna show. And yeah, like top 10, I'll just be ranking it on like overall usability, how often you're gonna use it, how good it is when you're gonna use them, all that. And I'm gonna try to get at least one unit of each element on this list. So let's just get into it. So in the number 10 spot, I actually have Kira. He is a really good DPS unit. With glitched, he is top 3 DPS in the game, but there's just the thing that he is barely top 20 when it comes to AoE DPS because he's circle AoE. But I'm still gonna put him on this list. Top 10 might be a little low, I don't know, but we do have so many good fire units already. I don't really think this guy, well, I think he is something you should really grind for. I think he is like a must-have unit, but you can probably also do everything with him with other fire units like Escanor and stuff. Alright, so let's place him down and we can check out why he's so good. Now this is level 68 and without skill tree, because I've actually not been using this guy. I haven't really been grinding much since I got Dio and stuff, so I've not really had any time to use him. But you can see his circle is like it's basically full AoE. Like at the start, like the circle is so big. Now it is still not full AoE, so he is still not on the level of the full AoE units. And then we do have a line here. The damage is alright. Again, remember, this is not a max potential Kira. This is not max level. And yeah, this circle is huge. This is why he's still somehow top 20 AoE DPS while being circle AoE. It's a huge circle. Also, like, this is my first time seeing this circle thing. It looks really nice. This is actually really good damage. Like with Overlord, this is not glitched and it is not max level without skill trees. So this damage is actually really good for where he is now. Yeah, I figured I had to put him top 10. Okay, so in top 9, I actually have Pooie. Now this might come as a surprise for some of you because he seems kind of OP, but it's kind of the opposite of Kira. It's where his AoE DPS is really good, but his DPS is lagging a little. It's really good still, but it's not as good as like the top 10 units. It's not up there, but his AoE DPS is actually like top 5. But yeah, he has like an ability that's seemingly really good, but the problem is that you're only really gonna use this ability for leaderboards and such. So yeah, I'll quickly show him here. Okay, so yeah, I'll quickly just be going through the upgrades again, and he starts off kind of weak, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's like Tatsumaki like DPS at the start, and yeah, then he goes into this. Is this full AoE or circle AoE? I actually can't see that because the circles are so big for some reason. Okay, it is full AoE. Okay, and then he loses it, right? Yeah, he goes into circle AoE. I don't know why he loses full AoE, but then he gets it back. It's pretty expensive, and then you gotta pay 100k for the full AoE to come back, but you also get the ability, and you can, yeah, see his DPS here max. It's pretty good. It's not bad DPS at all. I think it is still like top 15 DPS, but he does lag a little compared to the other units on this list. And just overall usability, you're not gonna be using, I mean, you are gonna be using this guy, but there's units you're gonna be using a lot more on this list. And the ability is good again, but mostly for the leaderboard runs, which I think a very small bit of you actually play. Alright, so my number 8 spot might surprise you a bit here, but it is Benimaru. Now I see people overhyping this unit everywhere. I'm not saying he's bad, but he is not as good as you think. Black Flames kind of sucks, and that's because you need to wait for Black Flames to end before you can apply a new one. So yeah, this unit is not as good as you might think. Now for the start of games, he is still insane because of the burn damage, the normal burn, and he doesn't fully rely on that, so he's still insane for like early game. And yeah, I'll just quickly show him. I mean, everyone has used this guy. This is also with max skill tree and stuff. Alright, so we're in here again, and yeah, as again on placement, this unit is really good. He's really good for starting off games, which is why he's still on this list. He does still have a lot of use, even though later on, in my opinion, he kind of starts to lag the DPS. But yeah, this is his last upgrade with burn, normal burn, and then he goes into the Black Flames, which I'm not really a fan of. enough and he gets expensive. But yeah, he ends up with like a lot of DPS, and then you also gotta count out a lot of it because you can't stack multiple. So late game, this unit is not as good as you think, but it is still amazing and it still has a lot of use. Okay, now I did say I wanted one of each element, and Yolkiora in my opinion is like the best nature element unit. The ones you can argue for are like Tatsumaki, but she doesn't do too much DPS, and I think Hashirama is also nature, but he's just not on the level as Yolkiora. And then Hakari, but Hakari is not on Yolkiora's level either in my opinion. Let's just go in and check him out. I think this unit is insane, but I do also have glitched, and I use this guy to tiny task raids and stuff. Alright, so let's check him out here. Now the thing most people don't think about when they see Yolkiora, also I do have the soul on him, but I just forgot to remove it. That's just because I actually use Yolkiora a lot. And yeah, as you can see, his line is it's kind of thin, but he has a really good range. And this is also with the crit range skill tree. Now the thing most people don't really think about when they see this unit is the multi-hits. The multi-hits actually do a lot more damage than the unit says. So let's just keep upgrading here. Around here, I think he's doing around, like with the multi-hits, around 6 million for 4k cash. That is insane damage. And yeah, I'm gonna keep upgrading. Now here he loses his multi-hit, which kind of sucks, and I would not recommend upgrading to this upgrade unless you have enough to get him to this. Like, just keep him on the thin line until you have enough money to get him to Black Flash. And well, he is cone now, but the cone used to be a lot bigger. I'm not sure if this is just like a visual thing, but the cone used to be a lot bigger. I think it might just be a visual thing with the AoE. There's no way his cone got downgraded that much. Okay, I'm not really sure about that. That's kind of weird. It used to be like, you know, like really big. But yeah, I mean, it's still insane, and his damage, it might not look too crazy. Also, this of course without like a leader buff, but yeah, it might not look too crazy, but with the multi-hits, it is pretty insane. Okay, so for top 6, I actually have Rengoku. Now this unit has so much use just because of his insane damage on early waves, and he actually has pretty good damage like even later on. But yeah, this is one of the few units I actually rolled off of Overlord on because I wanted at least Avatar. That's just how good he is. And yeah, as you can see, I've been using him a lot. I don't think I've ever used him for a tiny task. So yeah, this is just kills I've been getting while like I've been using him because I've just been using him a lot. Okay, so yeah, again, I'll just quickly be going over it. And yeah, for maps like this with nature, he is so good. And for some reason, we got a lot of nature maps in the world too. So for story mode and purgatory, you know that for the jewel farming, he's actually really good. So yeah, let's just keep upgrading. He is 650 to Bleach, which you can get at wave 2. And then he goes into this line, which is kind of it's not the greatest line, but he goes back into a pretty big circle again. And you just keep upgrading him. Yeah, you know, it's not insane damage for late game, but for early game, this is really good. And he isn't fully reliant on this dot like Benimaru is. So I mean, overall this unit is just really good. Everyone knows that. So many people use him. Really good range too. So let's just get into the top 5 now. Alright, so again, I wanted one of each element at least in this list, and this is like the only water unit I think. Now if you want a really good starter water, I think Boback, the new Evo, is like the best possible one for starting off games, or Garo, one of these two. But overall, this guy is going to be doing the most damage because he is fully AoE with really good stats. So let's just go in and check him out quickly. Okay, so let's quickly test him out here. Oh wait, what was that? Oh, he doesn't have the skin when you try to place him. I didn't know that. Alright, so he starts off at line AoE, which is alright, and then he goes into circle. But I mean, to be honest, he's really just Black Flames. But to be honest, yeah, he's really just good at full AoE. So let's just keep upgrading here. And yeah, line or cone actually, and I'm pretty sure this cone is a lot bigger than this AoE says, just like Yolkiora. I think it's a visual bug right now. I don't know why it's like that. And yeah, full AoE, really good unit, really insane range, and of course the damage would be better if I had max level, or him, well, them, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean, the slime. Yeah, basically really good unit, but mostly gonna be for a late game. But farms are pretty insane in this game, so you can actually get this unit maxed, which makes it kind of usable in legend stages and stuff, and you know, caverns, since water is kind of weak. Really good unit overall. Again, I don't have much to say. The nuke is really good, best fear unit in the game. Let's just get into the top 4. So in top 4, this is going to be the last unit that isn't godly basically. Now I do think you can put this unit above some of the godlies. I think you can put it above like Sukuna, but again, I love Sukuna's leader buff, the 35% range, probably probably the best one in my opinion. So to be honest, I think 4th is a fitting spot. Now Gojo is like the best support in the game. His infinity bubble is just so insane, and he has a time stop. He gets really he gets it really fast. He's just really good. He has a nuke too, but that's only for late game. Alright, so you actually want to place this guy on like corners just to cover as much as possible with this infinity bubble. And as you can see, he got full AoE really quickly. It only costed like 25k, and he's already full AoE. And if we upgrade just a little more, you can see this is insane DPS for the cost. Plus he is actually multi-hit, so I'm pretty sure he does even more than it says. So this upgrade here is what I would usually leave him at, since in my opinion it is better than this line that you can see here. And even on this last upgrade, if you somehow get 2.5 million, he is still gonna be line. So I would just keep him on full AoE unless you're in like a infinite where you need his nuke. But yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say besides that. Really good AoE. I know it's line, but it's a really thick line, so it's pretty good. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to put Sukuna as the fad unit, just because he doesn't have as much use as Pride does, and Dio just has the best DPS in the game, the best AoE DPS actually. Sukuna has like a little bit more DPS than Dio, but Dio does have a lot more AoE DPS. So let's just go in and check him out. Everyone knows this unit is really good, and in my opinion, this range buff is probably the best team buff in the game. I don't know why, I just really like it. The range is so good when I use this unit. Now, I do think this unit is probably the least used godly, and it's gonna stay like that forever. Gonna be just forever the least used godly, even though he's really good. Like, look at this on placement. Now, I know it's not hybrid, but for the new legend stages, this Sukuna is actually insane. I should have probably put him in the first spot just so he can get his own leader buff. I feel like that would have been kind of fair, but I guess we're just gonna set all godlies on the second spot. And yeah, I mean, his range would be even better if we had his leader buff. And yeah, he goes into the circle, which it gets him hybrid, but I'm not really a big fan of it. It does have the paralysis effect, which I'm also really not a big fan of. Now this cone, I swear this cone was a lot bigger. I swear these cones, it gotta be a visual bug or something. This cone was a lot like 3 times bigger before it, maybe even more than 3 times. And we're gonna get into the half full AoE here, and it's supposed to be a half full AoE, no? Why is it just a thick line? Yeah, I also think this is a visual bug. It's supposed to go out to his range, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure. This new AoE seems a little buggy. It's supposed to be basically half of his AoE that he's hitting, which is also really good. I mean, it's not full AoE, but it's basically like half a full AoE. Really good. And we go here. Oh yeah, we do have the wall cutting slash, which is like a nuke that does 3 billion, I think it was. And when we max him, now I don't really have to max him. You can see his stats here. He does get another nuke, which does, I think it's 10 billion. So 13 billion in total, which is really good. Also, Gojo did 7.5 billion. I don't remember if I went over that, and so does Rimaru's. Yeah, really good unit. In my opinion, he is kind of slept on as a godly. I feel like everyone just says Escanor is better, which, I mean, I can also understand. Escanor is better for some things, but Sukuna is also really good. And let's just get into the second spot. So yeah, as you might have guessed, Escanor is in second, even though I think most people think this guy's leader buff is the best because it's 20% damage. Again, I do think I prefer Sukuna's actually, but yeah, 20% damage is also really good. And a lot of you guys have already used him. I mean, everyone uses this guy, but let's quickly just go over the upgrades. Now, the reason this guy is so good at like everything is because he's actually not, I mean, 3.7k might seem expensive as a placement, but look at this damage on placement. If you count in the damage he does for the price, it is really not bad at all. Plus, if you use his leader buff, he's gonna be doing even more than this. So yeah, it's pretty insane. If you can just get him down, he can you know, clear the fast few waves. And he is kind of expensive to upgrade, but as you can see, he does go into full AoE pretty quickly. It does take 66k, which is, it sounds like a lot, but that's not even, my farm does 72k a wave. It is really not that hard to get. It's 1 wave of money you can get him to full AoE for. And if we just keep upgrading, yeah, he basically just stays this full AoE with really good damage. Also, one of the only units that I rolled off of Overlord on, only him and Rengoku, those are the 2 units where I actually rolled off of Overlord just to get something better, because these 2 are just so good. But let's just go into the number 1 unit on the list, which is obviously Dio. though. So number 1 unit in the game, I think most people are gonna be agreeing with this. Well, either him or one of the other godlies. I mean, to be honest, I don't really mind whatever godly you put in first. But yeah, his DPS on spawn is not as great as the other two, but he is hybrid on placement, unlike Sukuna. And he is 3.5k to place, which does make him the cheapest godly to place, only like a little under Escanor. And this is also without skill tree and not max level, so of course he's not gonna have the same amount of damage. He does go from a cone to line, and well, where you basically just want to get him is to the full AoE. Now the full AoE is really expensive. Of course this circle is also huge, so this circle is also really good, but you basically just want to get him to the full AoE, which is really expensive. I don't think you can get this in a legend stage, to be honest. Maybe you can. I think it's gonna be really close though, and I just don't really think it's worth it. I think this is just mainly an infinite unit, but I do think most people would put him in fast, so I'm just gonna do that, even though I would probably put Escanor above him and maybe even Sukuna. Really good unit though, and he does have a time stop which I've had is a minute long, even though I felt like it was longer. Really good time stop, best time stop in the game. And with Sukuna buff, you can get an even better range with the crit range skill tree. Also, his range is gonna be insane. This unit is really good. I can see how this guy is number 1 AoE DPS, and he's also second best DPS overall, like just pure DPS, and he's only a little under Sukuna, like very little. So that is basically my top 10. If you disagree with anything, please let me know, and let me know which ranking you would rate the godlies, because I feel like everyone is gonna have a different ranking. I do think most people are gonna put Sukuna in fat though. I feel like not too many people use Sukuna compared to Pride, but yeah, feel free to let me know. I hope this list helped out some of you, and thank you guys for watching.